Well, hello and welcome to Storytime Anytime. I am Miss Christie. It's great to have you here in this episode where we are going to be doing 5 things together. Those 5 things are reading, writing, talking, singing, and playing. Now we do these 5 things as we model the 5 pre-reading kindergarten readiness skills of every child ready to read. And all that to say that we're helping you get ready for school, and we're doing it in a fun way. So what do you say we greet each other in a fun way? Let's go ahead and say hello to the familiar tune of Do Your Ears Hang Low? Now we're going to change up the words just a little bit, and we're going to start with, can you put your hands up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you turn around? Can you say hello? Hello. Now let's do another verse, changing up the words just a little bit again. Can you reach up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you stomp your feet? Can you say hello? Hello. Good job. Now let's just do it one more time, changing up the words a little bit again. Can you reach up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you run in place? There you go, faster, faster, faster. Let's run in place. Awesome, faster. Can you say hello? Hello. And again, welcome. Let's go ahead now into story time. We're going to do one of my favorite activities, and that's to go get the mail. You never know what you might get. You might get a letter, you might get a package, or you might get a surprise. So let's see what we got today. Let's put our hands together as we clap and sing our song. Let's go get the mail. Let's go get the mail. What did we get today? Let's go get the mail. Let's check and find out. Here's our mailbox. Let's see what's inside. Did you see that? There is something inside. We have an envelope. We have a really, really big envelope. And it's not just any big envelope. It's a magic envelope. Oh, let's open it. Oh my goodness. What have we got? Ooh, wow. We have a letter inside. This just isn't just any letter. This is a letter of the alphabet. Do you know what letter this is, friends? If you said a letter H, you're exactly right. Did you know that we can also write this letter? Because after all, you have a magic writing finger. Let's get out your magic writing finger. We're going to point up to the letter H. You're going to start at the very top. We're going to make a big line down. Good. And we're going to come across, make another big line down, then come to the middle and make a small line across. And you made the letter H. Now, letter H also makes a sound. It goes, ha, ha, ha. And in fact, you can feel that sound as the air comes up through your lungs and out through your mouth. If you put your hand right in front of your mouth, you can feel that sound go, ha, ha, ha. And it's that sound that helps us form words that start with the letter H, like hat, or heart, or hug. Let's see what else that letter might start. If we can find out what story time might be about, let's look inside. Oh, yep, the magic envelope has some clues as to what story time might be about. Let's take a look. Let's see, what do we have in here? Oh, we got a shape. We have another shape. Let's see what else. We got even more shapes. Big ones, small ones, some with straight edges, some with curves. And we got even more. Let's see. Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay, I think we've about got them. But let's just take one more look. Okay, let's shake out the magic envelope, make sure we got them all. Take a look inside. Did we get everything? I think it's empty now. Okay. So, with all these shapes, we should play a game. Shall we go on a shape hunt? Let's do that. All right, we need our hands free because we're going to tap on our legs. Ready? Going on a shape hunt. What will we see? Can you see triangles? Take a look with me. Well, okay, let's think about this. I know that triangles have 3 sides to them. Let's see if we can find a shape with 3 sides. How about this big one up here? Does this have 3 sides? No, it's like one big curve that just goes around and around. What about this shape here? Does that have 3 sides? No, it just really has 1. But what about this one? And there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are alike? How many sides do those have? Let's count on this one. Let's see how many sides it has. Will you count with me? 1, 2, 3 sides. And there's our triangle. We have 5 of them. Let's see what other shape we have. Let's go on our shape hunt again. Going on a shape hunt. What will we see? Can you see circles? Come take a look with me. Now, did you catch what I said just a little bit ago? Circles go around and around, right? Does this one go around and around? Yes. And we have some others that do too, right? This little one, this one, and there's this one. Look at that. We have small, medium, and large. How many circles do we have all together? 1, 2, 3, 4. But what about these 2? Are those 2 circles? Not really. That's a part of a circle. We call that a semicircle. So what do you think that we could make that starts with the letter H that involves all those shapes? I don't know. This is a hard one. I must be hungry. All I can see is this looks like an ice cream cone, and that doesn't start with the letter H, but hungry does. Is that fair? Well, I tell you what, I think we need the help of our magic envelope again. Let's see if the magic envelope can help us to figure out what we can make with the letter H. So let's put all of our shapes back in our empty envelope. There's all of those, and we get the last of our circles. Put them back in. Close the envelope nice and tight. Let's give it a good shake. Here we go. Oh, and we got to say our magic words. What are our magic words? What shall we say? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Abracadabra. Okay, are you ready on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Abracadabra. Okay, I think it worked. Uh-oh, we still just have shapes. I think you need to help again. This time we need to say it much louder. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Abracadabra. And voila. What do we have? Look at this, friends. A little animal decided to join us for story time. Now we got to figure out what kind of animal came to visit us at story time. Has to start with an H, so it must be a horse. Do you think it looks like a horse? Was that a good guess? But I don't know if any horse would have that short of legs and little tiny ears like that. Maybe it's a hippo. Hippo starts with H, but hippos don't have these little prickles or spines on their back. So I want you to think of a much smaller animal, maybe an animal that could be kept as a pet. Hamster. No, a hamster doesn't have prickles either. What about, oh, did I hear it? Hedgehog! If you said hedgehog, you are exactly right. And it just so happens that I have a book about a hedgehog. And this hedgehog, oh, look, there he is. He's standing with his jacket on, and you can see the little prickles on his head. And he's holding something. He's holding a letter. But it's not just any letter. It's a love letter. Now, the question becomes, who wrote this letter and who is it for? So let's find out. In the love letter that was written by Annika Aldemoy Denise and illustrated by Lucy Ruth Cummins. Now, I want to show you something in the beginning of this book that's going to give you a clue. If you look at this picture, this one right here, this picture actually answers our question as far as who the letter is for and who wrote the letter. But let's read on. Hedgehog was late. He did not like being late. It further frazzled his already prickly mood. He'd been grumbling about it to the ground when, oh, look right there, look, there it is. He spotted something unusual. It was not an acorn or a leaf or any of the ordinary somethings he came across on his daily walk. It was a letter. Now, this wasn't just any letter. It says, "Friend, you are a joy, a light, a secret hope, a safe good night, a face that shines just for me. And when you go, I miss you so. Don't you know I love you?" It was a love letter. Oh, my word, said Hedgehog. Someone loves me. And then he tucked the letter into his backpack and went on his way. Now, Bunny and Squirrel were already in the meadow. Squirrel was busy gathering acorns, while Bunny busied herself with a nap. Normally, Hedgehog liked to get there first, but today he had a love letter, and he was feeling oddly cheerful. Now, when Bunny beat him at leapfrog, high five. And when Squirrel asked to share his lunch, pleasure. And when Bunny wanted a friend to walk her home, delighted. Now, Hedgehog is being oddly cheerful, thought Bunny. Well, she wasn't in the habit of hugging Hedgehog, but today she gave him her best bunny squeeze. Uh-oh, and look what happened when she squeezed him. Yep, there goes the letter. She was just about to hop on home when she saw a letter lying on the ground. Uh-oh. It says, "Friend, you are a joy, a light, a secret hope, a safe good night, a face that shines just for me. And when you go, I miss you so. Don't you know I love you?" "My whiskers," whispered Bunny. "Hedgehog loves me." Now, down in the rabbit hole, Mama put her straight to work. Normally, Bunny pretended to nap at chore time, but today she had a love letter and was feeling oddly helpful. When Mama said peel the parsnips, perfect. And when Sister said set the table, surely. And when Papa said sweep the floor, splendid. And after supper, she hopped along to Squirrel's house. "I brought you more acorns," said Bunny. Bunny is being oddly helpful, thought Squirrel. And before he could say, "Thanks a bundle," Bunny overturned her apron full of acorns onto the pile. So Squirrel's neatly stacked acorns came tumbling down. "Oh, Bunny should be less of a busybunny," Squirrel sighed. And then he spotted something unusual among the acorn scatter. It was a letter. It reads, "Friend, you are a joy, a light, a secret hope, a safe good night, a face that shines just for me. And when you go, I miss you so. Don't you know I love you?" "Aw, nuts," said Squirrel. "Bunny loves me." Well, normally, messiness made Squirrel anxious. But today, he had a love letter and was feeling oddly carefree. So when Mama splashed soup on his napkin, slurp. And when Papa felt wood shavings on the floor, scoop. And when Squirrel's teddy bears were not in their size order, snore. Well, the next morning, Hedgehog, Bunny, Squirrel bundled up and headed to the meadow. "If I do not show, Bunny will miss me so," said Squirrel. "And if I do not show, Hedgehog will miss me so," said Bunny. "If I do not show, I might never know who sent me this love letter," said Hedgehog. No one said a word at first. The letter that had made Hedgehog cheerful and Bunny helpful and Squirrel carefree suddenly made them all shy. Well, Squirrel gathered the courage to speak first. "Bunny," he said, pulling the love letter from his pocket, "I may not have your gift for words, but—" "My letter," said Bunny, snatching it up. "My letter," said Squirrel, grabbing it back. "My letter," insisted Hedgehog, stealing it away. And on it went, snatch, grab, steal, bicker, until... Uh-oh. "Look what you've done," said Bunny. "You ripped it," said Squirrel. "Did not." "Did too." "Did not." Excuse me." "Who's this?" "Was that my letter?" asked Mouse. "Your letter," said Hedgehog. "Well, I'm not sure. What did it say?" "It says, 'Friend, you are a joy, a light, a secret hope, a safe good night, a face that shines just for me. And when you go, I miss you so. Don't you know I love you?'" "You wrote the letter," said Bunny. "Well, who is it for?" Now, remember our picture way back in the beginning? If you look down here closely, there's little Mouse sitting inside that hollow log. Who do you think the letter was for? Let's see if you're right. If you guessed the moon, you're exactly right. "The moon," said Mouse. "Why does the moon need a love letter?" asked Hedgehog. "Well, because I'm a small mouse in a dark forest, and the moon is my very good friend. Don't you have a very good friend?" Hedgehog, Bunny, and Squirrel looked from one to the other. They were good friends, friends who shared their lunch, walked each other home, gave hugs, and brought acorns. "Oh, this was all a terrible mix-up," said Hedgehog. "The love letter never really belonged to any of us," said Bunny. "Well, we shouldn't be arguing over something that we never had," Squirrel added. So Mouse looked at their long faces. "Now, when you thought the letter was for you, how did you feel?" she asked. "Cheerful," said Hedgehog. "Helpful," said Bunny. "Carefree," said Squirrel. "And?" asked Mouse. and loved. Then I call that a wonderful mix-up, said Mouse. The love letter. Well, give yourselves a hand. That was awesome listening. And what a wonderful gift you can give someone if you write them a letter. And that even includes those 5 things that we talked about. Writing is something that we can do every day to get ready for school. Well, singing is something that we can do too, and singing is something that's wonderful to do for someone else. So let's sing someone a love song. Now, this is kind of a silly love song in a way. It's actually a folk song. It has a funny name, but it's even more fun to do. So let's go through some actions before we actually start the music. This is the way it goes. So the name of this song is Skin-a-Marinky-Dink. And see, I told you it was a funny name. What you're going to do is raise up a hand and cradle your elbow with the opposite hand. Now keep this top hand loose so that it waves up and down. And then after you say Skin-a-Marinky-Dinky-Dink once, you're going to switch arms and you're going to do the same thing again. Now you're going to say the words, I love you. And with the motions, you can do that different ways. You can point to your eye, make a heart with your hands, and point out to someone that you love. Or you can use American Sign Language and just use one hand. And with that hand, you open it up and then bring down your tall man and your ring man finger and leave your thumb, pointer finger, and pinky up. And this also says, I love you. So whichever one you want to do is fine. And then we'll say, I love you in the morning. We'll bring our arms way up top, meet our hands at the very high point. This is, I love you in the morning, like when the sun comes up, and in the afternoon, and in the evening, and underneath the moon. So you curve up your arm and make like you're a big moon. And then once again, you'll say, I love you. I love you, or I love you. All right? So why don't we put it to a little bit of music and we'll have some fun. All right, let's get our arms ready. Skin-a-marinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-marinky-doo. I love you. Skin-a-marinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-marinky-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening underneath the moon. Skin-a-marinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-marinky-doo. I love you. I love you, sing it. I love you. You're all terrific. I love you.
We'll see you next time.
I love you too. Boop, boop, be doo. All right, good job. Give yourselves a hand for joining me with that song. And now let's give each other a hug, or give yourselves a hug. So let's put our hands up and put our hands down. Let's put them in the middle and we'll move them round and round. You put one arm to the left and one arm to the right. You give yourself a hug and hold on so tight. Yes, good job. Well, our next book is about a hedgehog as well, and he loves hugs. He loves to give his friend Tortoise a hug, but unfortunately Tortoise and Hug are in a time and a place when they can't hug each other. But a wise owl tells them of other ways that they can show someone that they love them. So let's see what the owl says in While We Can't Hug. It's written by Owen McLaughlin and Polly Dunbar. And this book is dedicated for all the children who cannot hug the ones they love, PD and EM. While we can't hug. Hedgehog and Tortoise were the best of friends. They wanted to give each other a great big hug, but they weren't allowed to touch. Don't worry, said Owl. There are lots of ways you can show someone you love them. So Hedgehog tried to wave, and that made Tortoise smile. And Tortoise made a funny face. Can you make a funny face? Yeah. That made Hedgehog laugh. Hedgehog wrote a letter, and Tortoise wrote one back. And when Tortoise did a little dance, Hedgehog joined in too. Hedgehog blew a kiss across the gap between them, and Tortoise saw it, caught it, and kept it. And then sent 3 back again. Tortoise sang a song, and Hedgehog played along. La la la! They both painted pictures so that everyone would know they were friends. Through rain and shine, they could not touch, they could not hug, but they both knew that they were loved. And friends, you are loved too. And what a wonderful thing you can do for someone you love, whether you sing for them, dance for them, smile at them, or write a letter. That is something wonderful that you could do. But in the meantime, keep doing our 5 things. Remember, it's about time for us to end, so we're going to get our hand up again, and we're getting ready to wave goodbye. And we'll sing one last time. Here we go. Bye, 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 my friends. We had fun today. We read, we wrote, we talked, we sang, and we played. Thank you for joining me in this episode of Storytime Anytime.